I was going to run around and do some of this optional stuff off camera, but I was doing paperwork off camera, so I kind of ran out. So no optional stuff for us. You're going to have to see me do all this stuff on camera. Hi, Maverick. Welcome to the grim darkness of the 80s. I didn't even try the fix.
New objective located.
I honestly don't think it's worth the amount of effort and frustration to do that. Especially considering I would have to completely undo basically all of that tonight. So I decided to just kind of live with it. It'll literally be less frustrating to just live with it. Hello, you're a little crazy horse. Now I'm here to talk to you about politics. Any questions? I have not played Far Cry Primal, actually. I've not... No, I have not played Primal or, 6. Or 2 or 1. What's the difference, for? I mean, think about how politics was done in real life for years, and you kind of get where I'm going with that. Listen, I've decided this should be my territory that you currently own. So I'm going to come take it, okay? Uh-oh. 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 There we go. Got my daily injection of drugs. How did you live through that? Oh yeah, suicide. Drugs and suicide. Brought to you by your YouTube overlords. Well, this one can't turn all the way. Sure.
I'm here to kill any volunteers.
Let's see. We've already had Predator, Terminator, and Terminator 2. Micromano. What else? Help me out. I can't think of all the other references we've had. G.I. Joe? Yeah, I can see that. Especially with the lasers. Rambo. Yep, we've had Rambo. Aliens. Yeah, we already had Aliens. Thank you, Loner. I will put that towards Ace Combat Zero. RoboCop, TMNT, yep. It's kind of related to that offshore Twitch account. Essentially, it's a way to ensure that YouTube doesn't accidentally think any of my streams are kid-friendly. Because they're not. I can flag it however I want, but YouTube can disagree with that. But if you say the word suicide or COVID is another one, then the thing will be like, oh, this isn't for kids, and it will automatically flag it as not for kids for me. which is good. It's a little frustrating, not gonna lie to you, but it's a way to deal with that. What's our money like? Does anybody actually like COVID? Is that a thing? There we go. Explosive rounds. The army way of sticking firecrackers in frogs. Oh, coronavirus. You sure? I'm so new at this whole virus thing. It's okay, coronavirus. I will show you the path to love. I do not want to keep the flamethrower, but I haven't really decided what to replace it with. LucasArts armed and dangerous. Alright, well, what's your backup? Because who frickin' knows if I could get that playable. I guess I'll get the bow. I guess. Okay. Yeah, no, I was actually thinking during the break what I'm going to say during the room. It's going to be a very short room because there's not much to talk about. But the biggest talking point for me by far is... I accidentally hit the menu. It's okay, it's okay. Is that it's better than the other Far Cry games I've played. And I was trying to come up with specifics on how to explain why and how. Collectibles not being frustrated is one of those little details. Okay, so armed and dangerous. I mean, I don't really think there's anything to talk about with regards to a standalone DLC. I guess I could. I could talk about Super Mario Brothers. The original standalone DLC. No, seriously. Lost Levels is the original standalone DLC. Well, yep, nope, this is my life now. That hill has forced my hand.
I hope I don't have to collect any fucking feathers.
I'm afraid that kid is insane, Spartan, and must be destroyed immediately. I'm joking. There's actually nothing wrong with Lost Levels. But it's not a sequel. And that's the distinction right there. I should mention that I actually have nothing wrong with the concept of a standalone expansion, because standalone expansion is exactly what it sounds like. We already made the engine, we already have the tech, we already have the build. Let's just make more content for it. And there we go. More content get. It's actually weird how infrequent it is. I don't know what that is, or why that happened, but okay. Hey, shark. Oh, God, he didn't like that. He didn't like that. Ahem. Because as much as it's fun and easy and lucrative and true to blame corporations for a huge amount of things, let's be honest with ourselves for just a second. A decent chunk of the blame for certain industry practices lies on the audience. That is to say, the user base. I wouldn't say we, because obviously, you know, whether or not us as individuals are part of that isn't really something I could define. But let me go back to that standalone concept thing. Players in general tend to demand that I can't melee. There we go. Tend to demand new. Bigger, flashier, funnier, etc., etc. And there's a statistical recurring tendency for games that are just trying to be more content without being more whatever, not doing as well. Because people are like, well, this isn't even a sequel. What is this crap? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's one of the reasons why a new engine was considered mandatory for so long. Anytime you made a sequel to a game, regardless of if that game needed a new sequel or not. Right? Regardless of whether that sequel needed a new engine or not. Jesus Christ, Lord. Pay attention. Okay, there's a dam in my way. So let's do this. Vice City is a sequel. That is to say, a prequel. But it's a new game. It's its own thing. They actually changed enough under the hood in Vice City for it to count as its own thing. Same with San Andreas. No, I agree. Majora's Mask is a perfect example of the kind of thing you can do with a standalone expansion. To be completely honest, one part of the problem here, and I notice people in chat are already making this exact same mistake, is that a lot of people tend to treat standalone expansions and sequels as mutually exclusive, when in fact they are very much not. There's nothing that prevents one from being the other, or vice versa. Good luck, Braven. Trying to get some more money so I can afford some of these upgrades I'm unlocking. I need more money. Now, that's not to say there's nothing wrong with trying to update an engine, especially if you're trying something new. This is going to sound like a strange example, but think about Stardew Valley versus The Haunted Chocolatier. It will be based on the previous engine, but he is designing a new engine for that game because he actually wants to develop it, to go further with it, to make combat more interesting, and to make some of the aspects of the gameplay more engaging. So, shove it forward, try to update the engine, get something good. So there's nothing wrong with that, but I do think it's kind of strange that there's that long-standing opinion, which I think has faded a little bit in the modern era, but was certainly strongly present in the 80s, 90s, and early aughts, that a new game needed a new engine. Or new features, or new mechanics, or something. In fact, honestly, the worst example I could think of users demanding something new and that causing a detriment to the game is World of Warcraft. Let's get the rivers here. There we go. Let's just stay here. I'll just do it. Something that is a demonstrable and provable fact is that interest in a particular expansion financially tends to sit on whether or not that expansion has a new race or a new class. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter how good the design is, the raids, the quests, the infrastructure, anything like that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is, do we have that new feature, that selling point? Now, the problem with that is everything, but on the off chance you don't know how MMO development goes, making a new race is honorously expensive in terms of time and money. Mostly time, but also money. It is insane the amount of work that goes into making a new race. Making a new class, not quite as much, ironically, but still something that is very, very difficult to do.
I don't have to collect any fucking
And something that's going to completely change the very balance of the game forever. In every field. In a game like WoW, there's a lot of different aspects of gameplay. So you're changing PvP, you're changing raiding, you're changing the Mythic Plus circuit, you're changing normal questing, you're changing open world PvP, which is its own thing. You're changing the arena balance, which is its own thing. All of that just to add a new class. It's one of the reasons they experimented with that allied races concept to try and mitigate that a little bit. Didn't work, by the way. What's that? Oh, I already killed one of those. Okay. Let me figure out what race I haven't killed. I mean, animal. Oh, God! I am referring to World of Warcraft workbook.
Yep, got another one. What the fuck am I doing?
You're loot, dude. We're unlocking stuff. Why would you need to know where north is? That's just silly. Anyways, all of this actually does relate to this very game, because this, I can predict this right now. I have a feeling this is going to be my highest rated Far Cry game. And it's a standalone expansion. So there you go, there's the topic. Everything I just said I'm going to repeat in the rumination, and that's going to be the rumination, is talking about standalone expansions. Enjoy. Is it an example of expansion effect? That's an interesting question.
I don't have to collect any fucking flags.
I don't have a good way of judging that. I mean, obviously I do think this game is superior to Far Cry 3. Do it, Mr. Red. Give in to the relaxing side of the Force. With each passing moment, you will become more with the sofa. But anyways. I don't know how much better, or in the specific ways this is better than Far Cry 3 off the top of my head. So I can't answer that. I don't know. The pacing is definitely better than Far Cry 3, hands down. The controls are a little janky, and some of the mechanics are still a little janky. And I think that's just holdover from this is Far Cry 3. But I will say that the overall gameplay experience is definitely improved, so shrug, I suppose. Is it just the two? Yeah, it's just the two. So, Plutonia asks an interesting question. Does this music bop? I wasn't actually that impressed with the map. I'm not going to give the map a positive. I don't think it's bad enough for a negative, though. I have seen much worse maps in many different types of games, including this exact genre, because I've played Assassin's Creed Unity on camera. But anyways, Plutonia asks, do all games get a negative for the Skyrim arrow design of quests? I lean towards no. Ironically, we haven't set that precedent yet, because the first game that really will do that badly is Skyrim. So I'm not sure how to gauge that in most other games. Ow. Fable 3. Yeah. That's a hell of a base. Look at that thing. No falling damage. Hey, Dark Day. I had some leftover chili. It was quite good. Thank you for asking. I am super not going to show that off on camera, but if you want to link it in chat so people can watch it while I knock over the space, well, that's a good time to do it.
New objective received.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Far Cry Primal was literally copy-pasted the core terrain. One of the other games. Apparently it's 4. Are any of the Fable games good? Now that's an interesting question. Very interesting question. I'm not going to answer.
Silent but deadly.
Nope, they do not notice their dead comrades. So, most people I know who are fond of the Fable series tend to say that Fable 2 is the best. I've actually never played 2. I've only ever played 1. And 3. I believe that's our experience, but I don't know what it stands for exactly, Sub-Zero. Cyber points, maybe?
Okay, let's do this.
Oh my god. I wasn't ready for that at all. But anyways, Fable 1 is passable, I would say. It took me years to accept that it is a game and not a terrible game. I know that doesn't sound like much, but that really was something that I had to learn. I used to hate that game.
We have tactical supervisor.
Just the tip.
I don't think I've ever played Strife either, Mr. Red. Oh yeah, what are you doing next week for Thanksgiving, by the way, Mr. Red? But yeah, Fable 1 is... it's okay. If I were to review it, the score would be extraordinarily close to 0. Let me put it to you that way. It's not really all that bad, but it's not really all that memorable or good either, my opinion. Fable 2, I of course have not played. And Fable 3... Fable 3 pissed me off on multiple occasions by virtue of being cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean like, oh, screw you. You know, hostile game design kind of crap. Just, what the hell? I am honestly a little blown away by what they pulled off in Fable 3. No reason whatsoever, Mr. Red. Oh, excuse me. It's a shame the double barrel and the quadruple barrel don't share double up, because that's fantastic. I'm trying not to give specific examples because it's kind of spoilery, but one of the main plot points in Fable 3 is that you're supposed to so the initial plot is you're supposed to overthrow your evil brother. And the way they handle that story arc is, oh, what's a good word? Terrible. But then, very shortly after that, you were told, okay, you have to prepare for this great evil that's coming. It's like, okay, I can do that. I can prepare for evil. And then they're like, all right. Interesting. I can prepare for the evil. But then everything in the game tells you A. And so many players, myself included, prepped for A. And then it says, nope, it's actually B. No warning, no build-up, no preamble. And not even like in a narrative way. Purely a gameplay shift. It's such a middle finger to the player.
Yep, got another one. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, exactly, Chemic. I would also accept a sextuple barrel.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, I never played Fable 2 for the exact same reason a lot of people I know never played Fable 2. It's on the Xbox. Don't know what else to add to that, honestly. And then there's the new Fable, which I know nothing about, of course. Oh, that's an idea. So why don't we have a minigun, except it shoots shotgun shells instead of little 5.56s or whatever. What do you think?
He called shotgun.
Fable 2 is not on PC. Never has been, and at this point, likely never will be. Unless they do like a Fable collection in the wake of the success of, or failure of, Fable 4. We'll see, I suppose.
Oh, ginger snaps! I've been injured again.
Ginger snaps?
New objective received. Displaying. Eliminate all enemies before proceeding.
Sure thing.
Meh.
Peekaboo. This little piggy went to the morgue. I give that a 9.5.
I'm not sure how long Fable 4 has been in development, hell. It's been a minute.
Send for a medic so I can kill him too.
Examples of a Star Trek movie curse in any other franchise. Oh, you mean like the evens odds thing? Which also isn't arguably that true, but let's ignore that for a second. I suppose we could bring up Star Wars. What's the ratio of good Star Wars films to bad Star Wars films?
He said blow me, so I did.
Well, that's an interesting statement, Crazy Norse. Because what you're talking about is a specific type of sequel, which is a sequel that was crapped out cheaply in order to capitalize on something without actually putting any real time or effort into it. In that case, yeah, no, those tend to suck pretty universally. In fact, I can only think of one example of that, counterexample of that off the top of my head. Two examples. No, Aliens? Aliens wasn't made to be a cheapo sequel. I guess I can argue that, so fine, I'll give you Aliens. But the one I was going to mention is Star Trek 2, which had an extraordinarily small budget and was designed just to be a cheap, cash grab on the franchise. And it was Star Trek 2. I mean, not yet, Pika, no. But ask me in about a year and I probably will be. Yeah, Star Trek II Wrath of Khan had an extraordinarily small budget, and also was given almost no executive oversight, and a lot of things that would normally lead to a crappy sequel being made, like a relatively unproven director, who just didn't have a lot of experience under his belt, and no sway or political influence within Hollywood. That's Nicholas Meyer, by the way. being handed this effectively as a go make it on the cheap kind of a deal.
Way to die on the job, didn't shitter.
And there's other stuff. I mean, I talk about a lot of the behind the scenes of the Rumination. The point is, all the hallmarks of making the cheap crap out sequel were there in Wrath of Khan. It just kind of lucked into being one of the best films I've ever seen.
Oh, shotgun.
Helps that Nicholas Meyer, despite being a relative newbie, was Nicholas Meyer. Someone who, regardless of anything else, always took his job very seriously and really put the time and effort into doing the best thing he could with what he had.
From role-playing games, it's courage.
Hello, Ross. It's just a really good film, that's all, Euro. There's no hype. I say without hyperbole that I do think it is one of the best films I have ever seen. That's it. There's nothing else there. By the way, I am one of those people who is of the very firm opinion that Roddenberry was behind that leak. Why wouldn't it be, Warpcore? So what you're saying, Ross, is I should horrifically murder Ensign Ross. Actually, I had an idea regarding that, but I'll wait until you're back. So, before Star Trek II came out, a leak came out through the grapevine about a certain event that happens during the film. Now, that caused some consternation and led to a bit of a script rewrite in order to accommodate it.
Oh boy.
Now,
Another one down.
ignoring the fact that Gene Roddenberry was a disgusting human being who absolutely would do exactly that out of pure spite and nothing else, the fact of the matter is, the style and approach of the leak, the fingerprints of the leak are very Roddenberry. One of his favorite tricks was operating through the fans. Reaching out to an individual amongst the fandom and saying, hey, can you do this thing for me? Because he knew people would do it, because he was Gene Roddenberry. This is actually a very repeated pattern of his. And it's kind of disgusting, but whatever. But he almost always did it when he was trying to push something and not be seen as the one pushing it. Yeah, I agree with that, Tiny Hippo. What really pisses me off more than anything else is when people say that we wouldn't have... Like we owe Gene Roddenberry because even though he's not a great writer, he's what gave us Star Trek. The more I've studied Star Trek, and I've studied Star Trek a lot in my career, the more I've learned that that is not true. At this point in my life, I would be willing to give Gene Roddenberry maybe 5% of the credit for Star Trek. Absolutely, offshore Twitch account. Because, obviously, he was the one who came up with the idea initially and pushed it to the executives. And then they said no. And then he workshopped it around, talked with a couple of other people. Justman got involved. Of course, I can't remember anybody's names right now.
To unlock shit.
But he got other people involved. They started refining the idea and the story and the concepts. Got certain particular actors on board. All blah 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 blah. I don't agree with that offshore Twitch account, to be blunt. 5% is a minuscule amount of contribution for making Star Trek. Okay, this is an interesting situation. Was he the showrunner for the original series? No, he was not. I would say that Robert Justman, is probably the individual that is most responsible for Trek. A lot of the ideas and concepts that we have that are Trek come from him directly. And he was a producer who was fighting the other executives in the boardrooms in order to make sure Trek got its fair share. Okay, this is frustrating as crap. Let's jump up here. So I would say Justman probably gets, I don't know, 20% of the share. But that leaves us to the other one. I just realized I'm an idiot, because there's actually someone else who I would say probably gets 60% of the credit for Star Trek. And I'm not actually exaggerating with that number. And that would be Gene Kuhn. Gene Kuhn was the showrunner of TOS. And he was the primary script editor, as well as one of the major contributing writers for all of Season 1 and part of Season 2. If you have seen a good episode of Trek, there's a pretty good chance that it's because Gene Kuhn had his fingers on it. The only other person who has contributed as much as him as a writer specifically would be DC Fontana, who was pretty much single-handedly responsible for Spock, among other things. I mean, amongst everyone offshore Twitch account, as I just mentioned. How much power would Roddenberry had if he never had that skeevy lawyer? You know, honestly, that's a good question. Probably not very much. Yeah, the episode which deals with Spock and his how Vulcans deal with emotions. The episode Amok Time, one of the more famous episodes of all time. Those are both DC Fontana to a T.
I hope I don't have...
We're gonna get that one. Where's the quest? It's right over there. Yeah, okay, let's do it this way.
Flags.
Anyways, I've gotten wildly off topic here. Sorry, Django. Not that you're watching this. Not that you ever would. But Plutonia did ask a question. As with all things, 5%. So, okay, hang on, offshore Twitch account. Let's readjust here, because I think we're talking about different things. You're saying that 5% of all of Star Trek ever is a huge amount, which I would agree with. I'm not saying that. I'm saying 5% of starting Star Trek, of making Star Trek, originally creating Star Trek and giving us the thing that allows us to have Star Trek, is Gene Roddenberry. And then like 40% of it is, you know, what's his face, and 60% is what's his face, and so forth and so on. Responsible is William Shatner? Not that much, to be honest. Shatner didn't really... Shatner's an interesting example of an individual, especially back then. Because Shatner was a... You're all going to disagree with me on this, but you're wrong. Shatner was a professional. He tried his best to do his best consistently. Whether he agreed with it or not, whether he was injured or not, whatever else. He was definitely one of those just do your job kind of people. That was his mentality. He actually suffered literal physical injuries as a result of that. In fact, he got tinnitus from the episode Arena, specifically when he was fighting the Gorn. A relatively common problem back in the day, I might add. But the point here is that as much as Shatner was throwing himself into the role and doing the best he could, how much credit he gets for Trek being a thing is certainly a debatable topic, because I don't think it's a very high number. Why? Because ultimately Shatner was being written to be just another cowboy. I don't mean whatever you're thinking of nowadays as a cowboy. I mean what they did back then. Shatner, that is to say Kirk, was written to be a bog standard template, you know, just right out of the assembly line cowboy character. And he did a good job of it. That's all that can be said about that, right? Now, that being said, some of the more talented writers did actually bother to turn Kirk into a character who actually had personality and motives and humanisms, flaws, things to overcome, and that made Kirk more interesting than your typical cowboy. But overall, Kirk is just kind of whatever. I would, however, say that Nimoy is quite involved as well. Now, Nimoy's a little bit different, so let's rewind a second here. You have to understand that Shatner was already a big-name actor at the time, which I know sounds strange to say it, but he was. The studio considered it a huge net win for the show that they were able to get William Shatner on board this project. It's like, holy crap, you know. Nimoy was not a big-name actor. He was not someone that anybody was like, oh my god, we got Leonard Nimoy. Nobody cared. The distinction there is that while Shatner did his best to do his job, and he did, Nimoy didn't really have as much to lose, and so he kind of came at it from the underdog perspective. What that means, in practical terms, is that Nimoy was constantly fighting and pushing, how the crap do I get up this thing? In order to try and be more and do more, to have more creative control over his character, and to have more influence on how things went with regards to all of his arcs, everything he was involved in. He wanted more lines, he wanted more screen time, he wanted to push and do and be more and bigger. It's one of the reasons why the somewhat infamous conversation happened, where Gene Roddenberry was asked point blank in his office within the presence of Shatner and Nimoy, who is the main character of Star Trek? I think I give up on this. This is ridiculous. The Enterprise is the main character. I mean, there's nothing that way, so it's not... Okay, hang on. I'm going to try one more thing. So, did Nimoy have, you know, an influence and a say in how Star Trek became Star Trek? Absolutely. Because he was pushing for it, because he was hungry for it. Oh, for God's sakes. Because he wanted it.
I hope I don't have to collect any fucking flags.
I don't know, Pika. Probably not, in all honesty, but you never know. Oh, he was starving, man. He was a river in a dry land. Oh no, that is absolutely true, Crazy Norse. We have a lot of evidence that Leonard Nimoy brought a lot of sex appeal to the show. Which is funny when you think about it, but it's absolutely true. Now, in the interest of total fairness and honesty, Shatner didn't hurt either. A lot of people found Shatner very attractive back in the day. And again, he was kind of the big-name actor, so... You ever wonder why Shatner ends up shirtless in so many scenes? Now you know.
I hope I don't have to collect any fucking feathers.
Not really, Tiny Hippo? I mean, I guess yes? But I don't see that as a bad thing. I suppose it's going to be my answer to you. I mean, to be completely blunt, I think that Star Trek's adherence, TOS's adherence to the Big Three concept, absolutely destroyed a lot of the narrative potential that show had. I don't care if it was normal, and I don't care if it was accepted. I think it just is trash. Oh, by the way, in the TOS rewrite, we will not be adhering to the Big Three. In fact, I don't think we'll be adhering to that in any of the rewrites. Really? Snake. Come on, game. I need the money, game. Oh my god. This is kind of what I'm talking about with that Far Cry 3 jank. It's just a little bit off in the way it does terrain design and interactions. It's just kind of eh. Correct. Gene Roddenberry did not want Patrick Stewart, who I remind you was already an extremely talented and venerated Shakespearean theatrical actor, for Star Trek because he was bald. Now, having said that, there's actually more to that than that. And every account agrees that the moment he saw him audition, he was like, yeah, no, that's our man. But I just feel it's interesting that the first knee-jerk reaction Roddenberry had was, no! Yeah, I'm not into guys, but Patrick Stewart is attractive now. Never mind back in the 80s.
Oh boy, another one down.
I mean, that's true, Crazy Norse. Those are different fields. Does he look any different? I mean, he does. What I find funniest, some of you may or may not have watched Picard, and I'm not going to cast judgment one way or another on that show. It sucks, excuse me. But the thing is, Picard, the character in the show Picard, is actually older than Patrick Stewart is in real life. So they've been using makeup, and he has been deliberately trying to strain his voice when he talks, so that he's actually older. Or at least is perceived as older. Where's the... You know what? I think I'm going to give up on this. It's just money. It's just money. Who needs it? But have I actually watched Picard? More of it than I would like to. In all in total honesty, I find Picard Season 1 to be unnecessary. And I find Picard Season 1 to be... Excuse me, Season 2 to be terrible. I could go into much more detail than that, but I, of course, will not, because it's impossible to do so without spoiling. We haven't actually even thought about Wesley yet, Ross. It hasn't been relevant yet. The only thing we're doing with total certainty about Wesley is we're not turning him into a god.
Doc, I'm near those coordinates.
Listen, a man, Dr. Carlyle, is helping Sloan build bioweapons, even though he knows he shouldn't. Oh, Rex, I don't know what to do.
You want him dead?
Yes.
Assassination?
Sure.
Not a problem.
I know it's a terrible thing to do.
It's what I do.
Okay. Dr. Carlyle is at Shakma Station, a bioweapons facility on a nearby island. There's a security outpost on a ridge overlooking the straits. They have a hang glider there. Use it.
Objective: secure hang glider.
Well, remember, Tasha Yar is not in TNG, Ross. We kind of restructured that a little bit. That being said, the idea of a real romance, or rather, a situation that tries to develop into something that might someday be a romance for Data, is interesting narratively. But we'll have to think very carefully about whom we do that with, because that would be easy to screw up. Oh, that was the 12th. Yay. Sorry, spoilers, Mr. Red. That's in Season 7. My bad. We must assassinate this man. It's the only way. 7 of 9. No.
Yes, it will always be that last contract we had last week.
So I know you're joking, Yura, but is Denise Crosby actually Lithuanian? Because that's kind of cool if it is. Obviously Tasha Yar isn't, because we already talked about that. You know what we should do? We should make Tasha Lithuanian. We should just lean into that.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we'll call her... Let's see, what's the least Lithuanian name I can think of? Instead of Tasha Yar, she'll be... Jane? Gray. There we go. Is it really? Okay. Jane Austen. Or Jane Foster. And yeah, no, she's from Lithuania. That's totally a thing. Wink. I mean, Picard is French, apparently.
We were trying to beat the Russians. We'd hoped the dragon blood could bolster our fighting forces. But then we discovered its effects on normal people. It turned them into savages.
Let me guess. You tried to tell Sloan not to use it.
That's when he requested more rockets like the Red Spear. He's been arming them.
Against the Reds?
Against everyone, Rex. I think he's targeting the world, and Dr. Carlyle is helping him.
I'll stop him and put an end to his operation, Doc. Nobody threatens my planet.
Nobody.
Warning. Detecting enemies ahead.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, well, okay. Pretty sure I'm faster than this without it, but whatever, let's do it.
Okay, I'm on the island.
Get to the security outpost to open the facility's rear doors. The code is 653-9X.
Objective. Penetrate rear entrance.
I get it.
Your attention, please. The latest batch of hand grenades are defective and will not arm themselves unless you say, "Grenade out."
Oh, for memory beta. That's why I've never heard of that, Yura. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to memory beta. For obvious reasons. So yeah, here's my shotgun now.
Your attention. I inadvertently broadcasted the trigger code for your grenades over the intercom and primed several grenades to explode. I apologize to those I accidentally maimed and/or killed.
Okay, that might be the funniest joke in the whole game so far.
Your attention. The grenades also respond to the trigger phrase, "Eat this."
Oh my god, this shotgun. Well, it's just memory beta is for everything Star Trek, and memory alpha is only for continuity stuff.
Any volunteers?
So, like, if, random example, you decide to write a book about Star Trek and say that Picard's secretly an alien from outer space who went back in time and is also his own mother, and publish that book, then memory beta would then add that to the Picard entry. That's why I tend to not look at memory beta. Okay. Yeah, hence the terms in memory alpha and memory beta. So I think I just killed the whole base. Hello? Hello? Wrong. Dead wrong. Except they're over there, so whatever. If you read the stuff I typed up the other day, you'd already have the answer to that, Ross. Which proves definitively that you didn't. Interesting. Here I was going to make Ross a major character, but now he's just going to die randomly. To prove that the situation's serious. Like, there's going to be a situation where they're going through and all of a sudden, like, a rock is going to run into the NX-01 and it's like, oh god! And then Ensign Ross is going to go flying out the window. and then clunk, and that's it. And then the episode moves on as if he never existed.
I'll go to bed when everybody's dead.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. It'll just be a normal episode of Star Trek. Wait. I feel like I'm being insulted here for some reason. Yeah. Pick up the pick up the healing thing. Okay, fine. Now, pick up the healing thing. Jesus Christ, game. Stop being Far Cry.
Proceed to the laboratory entrance.
There is, in fact, offshore Twitch account, which proves that offshore Twitch account doesn't read the documents. There's a lot of proof going around here today. It's interesting. I'll take that as a compliment, Yura. Listen, nobody in this chat would dare give me a raspberry. Wow, you're alive. Where's my gun? There we go. So you pissed me off.
That never gets old.
Oh yeah, and Ross is going to be slumped over the console and covered in rocks. And nobody's going to know what they are. Like, that'll be the actual mystery of the episode is, where do these rocks come from? There's just rocks inside our ship. What in the world?
You can survive a fall from almost any height. Almost.
Whee!
Doc, I'm in.
Dr. Carlyle runs the project that aerosolizes the blood for the Red Spear rockets. I saw the results of his experiments. It was horrible.
Don't worry, Doc. I'll stop him. That's a Rex Cold guarantee.
Objective. Terminate Dr. Carlyle.
There's an odd question. When did Far Cry 1 come out? ...2004. Wow.
Welcome, Sergeant Rex Power Cold. To your last day on Earth. Release the Man Kraken!
Unable to comply. Man Kraken is in final completion phase.
You useless 8-bit piece of fucking hardware! Get it working!
Essentially, yes. Offshore Twitch account.
I don't deserve to die. When there are so many stupid people running around.
Doors opening by themselves? I love 2007.
Okay. And yeah, no, I know Far Cry 3 is the establisher of the Far Cry franchise. The Mario 3, if you will. Yeah, I had to do some drugs.
Detecting anti-life signs. Shooting them may provide for a distraction, or backfire on you horribly. Either way, good luck.
I guess we're just making zombies now. Okay. That's cool. That's how you can tell it's the 80s right there.
Someone shoot him in the face.
What? I'm not a Nazi.
We don't have a chance. Nothing to it.
Rex, I have partial access to their system. I'm unlocking the doors for you.
Then why is there a timer? It's gonna take you 2 minutes? God, you're a terrible hacker. Spider was a much better hacker than her. I miss Spider.
Hold on while I get that door, Rex.
Well, I don't know what Avowed is, but thank you for being a part of the show, Jesse's Mask. I'll go ahead and jot that down. For Avowed. Oh, hello.
Figure out. Jesus. And then we'll add that.
I don't know what I said, but I wrote down Avowed, so I sure hope that whatever it is, it's what you want me to stream. Listen, she knows science, Papanese. Everybody knows anybody who knows scientists, who knows science, can do every science thing. That's just logic.
Guess I blew my load.
Opening that door now.
Objective. Take the exit.
I know it is, Crazy Norse. It's ridiculous sometimes.
Be careful, Sergeant Colt. One wrong shot and you'll unleash my creations. The running dead.
Unless he shoots the containers and then leads your running dead to Omega Force, they are rather indiscriminate.
Why would you tell him that?
She's really helpful, honestly.
I think you got the point.
Objective. Take the exit.
You fool. You think killing me will solve anything? The project is fully automated now. Sloan already has enough aerosolized blood and rockets to infect the entire world.
Doc, Sloan's got everything he needs to fire those rockets.
I'm coming your way with a chopper.
How does she know how to fly a chopper?
Just wait until I get my man-Kraken operational. Why are you fools laughing? How's it feel to be last year's code, Sergeant Colt? You'll never beat me, you Neanderthal. I am the ultimate cyborg.
Okay. So who's ready to fight the man-Kraken?
The nerds put up a fight.
The ones not with Carlisle? Yes.
But now they're all dead.
I call shotgun.
You're a cyber rat in my cyber maze.
Why is the Rays cyber? Why is the rat cyber?
Detecting gravity elevator. Capable of reversing gravity to propel you upwards.
Scientists.
This is where you die, Sergeant Rex Power Colt. Is the man-Kraken ready?
Affirmative.
Release the man-Kraken.
Unable to comply. Laboratory door mechanism has malfunctioned.
Detecting a weak point in the blood dragon's sternum. Target is glowing chest. Reminder, Rex. Crouch and stock up on cyber hearts.
Or.
Someone shoot him in the face. If he doesn't distract the blood dragons with cyber hearts, they'll roast him alive.
Tip, Doc.
Send in more cyber soldiers.
Unable to comply. This 8-bit piece of fucking hardware is obviously incapable of accommodating your superior needs.
Please, don't kill me.
Unable to comply.
Well,
Take the exit.
interesting. You're okay, Yura. I felt better.
Great job, Rex.
If they weren't so over the top, I don't think they'd be as enjoyable. Like if they were normal weapons.
Rex, are you there?
Hell of a plan, Doc.
I hate to lose you. I mean, a fine soldier like yourself.
Objective complete. Get to these coordinates.
I'm giving it a point for viscerality, which I believe I've already done. Hyper beam devaluation. Interesting point. When everything you do is awesome, So, did the man kraken have man legs or kraken legs? Yeah, I think it's time to summon the plague, which is why we're going to the green bean.
Doc, I think I'm ready. What do you know about this place?
It only opens for the worthy. The area has some remarkable properties. Dragon blood becomes supercharged inside it, leading me to suspect it's a ley line hub, if you believe in Lockyer's theories of solstice alignments, and thus rife with energy output. Be careful, Rex. That place is filled with death.
What kind of death?
The dangerous kind, Rex.
Alright. Okay. Me and Death, we got a long-standing agreement. Fire's still spreading. Fire's spreading. Fire's definitely spreading still. Okay, we're okay, we're okay.
Test your might.
Yes. Warning for the point of no return. That's always nice.
Only those who survive the labyrinth of blood are worthy of the prize.
What happened to my gear?
Unknown.
Prepare for combat.
You spelled it wrong.
Whoa.
New weapon located.
I think we might be on drugs, everybody.
Running dead. Inbound.
No. Running dead. Outbound.
Shoot the running dead in the head.
Hello? I've killed them before.
Alright, for a second here. Take some drugs. Like you do. Like the true power of the dead.
Jesus, how many are there?
I have no idea, Ross. What I do know is that I can't understand why you're going to Steak and Shake of all places. Ugh. Unless you're going there for a shake. In which case, all is forgiven.
hell?
I have located an exit. I have detected a new weapon.
Think you can claim your prize? Well, then have a voice in this too. Eviscerate.
Shoot the running dead in the head.
This is my first time killing guys, and I hope it's not the last.
More enemies inbound.
Really don't like being on fire.
Dead guys?
Exit has opened.
No, that sounds about right, Ross. Just in general, really.
New weapon detected.
Cower before the might of the undead. Awaken.
Detecting movement. More enemies inbound.
Annihilate. You've survived so far, but you will not reach the end.
New weapon detected.
Hello, Betsy.
Get some.
In contrast to the earlier statement, this would qualify as a hyperbeam moment.
Detected.
Just here's a minigun with infinite ammo.
Almost in range of the kill star.
You are a warrior. You have proven worthy of the prize.
2. What part? Okay.
I got the touch. I got the power, yeah! Doc, I got the kill star. It's Sloane's bedtime, and I plan to tuck him in under 6 feet of dirt.
Okay, damn it, you warned me too early.
Body temperature.
Shitballs! I'm burning up.
Your body isn't used to that much energy. We need to teach your nervous system and muscles to properly channel the kill star.
Spider. Should have been him strapping this thing on.
If you can't do it with him, Rex, do it for him.
You're right. I need to even the score.
For Spider?
No. For humanity.
Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. I don't actually recognize this song. But you gotta have a montage. Each time show a little improvement. To show it all would take too long. You gotta have a montage.
But something tells me you're still holding back.
Don't worry, Doc. I won't hold back anymore.
Why?
I want to be blinded with your cyber love.
Okay. It's...
Yes.
He's...
Ouch. Ouch! Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. No, 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 no.
I mean, when you're with a cyborg...
I never thought a cyber commando could be so gentle.
I know. My organs, my bones, my blood are 85% synthetic.
But you're still 100% man. At least, the parts that matter. Oh, Rex. Is this truly it?
No, not until Sloane's dead, Elizabeth. He's gonna fire those rockets on every continent.
Do we have time for this?
He's a monster, Rex. The new payload will infect everyone. They'll become prehistoric savages. Society will collapse. It will be a new Stone Age. And what emerges will no longer be human.
He
It'll
thinks
be
he's
better
doing
than
me a
human.
favor. But so am I. By killing him first.
That's true. If there's one thing I learned from Mass Effect...
Rex, now it's time to save the world.
Elizabeth? No.
It's a CD. An ICD.
New parameters enabled. Stand by for updated objectives.
What?
Rex, it's me, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
If you're hearing this, it means something's happened to me. Rex, before I met you, I thought I'd never love a man again. I know you think of yourself as less than human, but you carry something more precious than your $1 billion worth of military spec hardware. More powerful than the hydrogen energy cell in your chest. You carry a human soul with you everywhere you go. And you carry my heart.
Literally.
Your arm now opens the high-security bunker inside the compound. Go get him.
Objective. Breach Danko compound and access high-security bunker.
And Rex, don't do it for me. Do it for world peace.
Where's all my weapons?
You all saw the revenue.
I believe in you, Rex. Now just believe in yourself.
Time to make some noise.
Recommendation. Reach the main gate.
I've been wanting to kick those assholes in their assholes all day. Let's go. Knock, knock. Objective?
Kill everything. Everything. Kill. Kill.
Okay.
You heard the woman.
And that was with my left hand. I give that a 9.5. Need a light?
Oh, I knew you'd make it. There's more of me and you than just programming. We even share the same blue-colored blood now, son.
Wrong, Sloan. My blood is red, white, and blue. And that was with my left hand. I'm on fire. Now so are you.
Yes, Crazy Norse. This right here is the difference between executive mandate and we want to make something. Even with this game's problems, it's clear that these people really wanted to make this game.
I really empowered him.
And I've said for years, and I'll say it again, if you really care about something, you tend to do a better job of it. Generally speaking.
What is this place?
Detecting high levels of bioradiation.
Oh no, not bioradiation.
Going out of your
Poof.
Damn it, Rex! I'm trying to make the world a better place. No more coddling the weak. No more politicians and lawyers and goddamn Democrats. It's gonna be survival of the fittest.
I just noticed this game has a sudden, rather violent similarity to Revengeance. When did Revengeance come out, and when did this game come out? No reason, I'm just curious. Or Reagan, Crazy Norse. I should know. Both came out in 2013. That's funny. I'm imagining that's, you know, coincidental. But that is funny to think about. If you haven't gotten your guess in for the guessing game, this is a good time to do it, because I'm going to give you about 20 seconds before I cut off the guesses. There you go. Nightbot, hello? Come on, Twitter's supposed to be dying, not Nightbot. I'll give you a minute. As usual, as a reminder, why, you know what I hate? You know what my biggest pet peeve is in my show? Literally, the biggest pet peeve. It's not backseating. It's not people telling me what to do. It's people repeating information to me that not only that I already know, but I demonstrably said in the episode in question. Like, imagine I put out a video. I'm going to use a made-up example. Imagine I put out a video, and I say, hey, in this, we're going to discuss the purple red, the color red, which is not the color of purple, because the color purple is not the color red. And then I get a comment, like the one I literally just got while I was waiting for you all to get your guesses in, which says, hey, did you know the color red is not the color purple? And I'm like, do you not watch the goddamn video? God, that pisses me off. Just, ugh. You would not believe how common that is, by the way. That's probably part of why it pisses me off so much. I get that at least once a week, usually on average about 4 to 5 times a week. It is extraordinarily common. If I got rid of all the comments I got that were that, I'd probably lose at least 10% of all the comments on my entire show. Anyways, chopping off the guess. Y'all were too slow. Boop. Haven't had a chance for a rant and everything. Let's go kill the last boss. Oh yeah, and I gotta mute it. I am the battle-armored Dragon Assault Strike System. Your Killstar controls my brain cage, instructing me that you are my rider. I'm equipped with a hydraulically powered Terra 4000 cannon and titanium trauma plates. Hang on, let's see if we can do what has been requested of me. Yeah, we're still in copyright music. In fact, it basically just started. Let's see if we can just turn off the music. So you can at least hear something. Ah, it just sounds awkward. Oh.
I have shot you! And I shoot lasers out of my fucking eyes! I'm firing my laser.
Did we just kill a submarine? I think we just killed a submarine.
Do you like riding me? This is fun and sad.
Yeah, we're super on rails. This has become a rail shooter. Here. Left hand's off the controller.
Genocide is fun.
Is it genocide if they're robots?
This is pretty. Have a nice day.
What the hell?
Welcome home, killer.
Sloan. The only killing I got left in me is killing you.
And then what? Retire to the suburbs? Mow the lawn every Saturday and watch football on Sunday? That ain't you, Rex. You don't mow down lawns.
You mow down lives. You're crazy. I'm a god now. Not just man, not just machine, but a fusion of both. A new Zeus on high ruling the new species of man. You could have been one of my cyber priests, serving with free will at my right hand. But I guess it's time to retire you mock wars once and for all. You guessed wrong, Sloan. Dead wrong.
Alert. Systems compromised. Unable to kill Sloan. I'm so sorry, Reverend.
What a waste! You've grown all soft. Like them Washington politicians. Do you know they've been negotiating for peace with the Reds? Peace, Rex. Peace.
Dare they?
Why can't I kill you? You pathetic son of a bitch! You ain't nothing but a bundles of wires and programs. There was nothing left of Rex power code when they found you. Just DNA, without a soul. No. I gave you my memories, my experiences, my childhood. No!
Rex.
I programmed you. I made you. I am your father. No!
Rex, maybe turning you into a machine saved your life, but it never changed what really mattered. Your heart.
You all saw, Reverend.
You're more than a collection of wires and lines of code. I believe in you, Rex. Now just believe in yourself.
Lights out, Rex. No. Lights on. Elizabeth,
Rex! You killed Colonel Sloan!
I guess all that power just went to his head.
So what now, Rex?
They're gonna come in here and take everything. Your research, the weapons, the dragon's blood.
Is that what you want? An army of monsters?
That's what Sloan wanted, but I'm not him.
I reactivated all the fail-safe booby traps in the bunkers. Just one push, and everything goes up in flames. You saved us, Rex.
Or just maybe, Doc. This time, you saved me.
No, Rex. We saved each other.
No! I saved you, saved him, saved her. I don't get it, by the way. What, is she evil? Is she an alien? Is she a zombie? What's going on here? She's a blood dragon! I knew it. So that was Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon. Yeah, I know it's a reference to Thriller. I don't remember the last time I watched Thriller, so I don't get it, that's all. Well, since it's muted anyways, let's do some boring auditing stuff, shall we? Like nerds! $18 pluses to Rex as a character. Obviously. I don't know. I guess we'll find out Monday when we play Paradise Killer. That should be interesting. I don't have... Hang on. Oh, I would agree, Kevin. Overall. I mean, is it even the 80s if it doesn't have Kurt Russell in it? Honestly. You know, I think this is one of the only Far Cry games we'll cover that doesn't get pluses to co-op. I mean, even New Dawn was only, like, I want to say 20 hours, maybe 15, something like that. I don't remember how long we spent on Far Cry 5. I can check. Let's see. 18 hours in Far Cry 5, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, that was too much. A surprising chunk of that was padding. For a bit of perspective, in New Dawn, I have a total of 22 hours down. That's 2 playthroughs. One for the stream and one with PAX. Speaking of which, replayability. I'm actually leaning towards no myself. Gotta listen to arguments. There's no such thing as too much when it comes to a parody trihexia. Eh. Maybe they were worried about some legal issues, Plutonia. Well, I'm gonna lean towards no, which I'm afraid means this is the worst game ever made in the history of the ever. It's not even on this list, is it? Correct. It is not on this list. God, that's funny. Okay, we'll slot it in here. Sure. So, 15 pluses to story, 11 pluses to gameplay. Not exactly shabby. Good density on both axes. 100% story ratio. And 70.37% gameplay ratio. Listen, I only like older / newer games, Crazy Norse. At least according to the internet. So, the only other Far Cry game I've ever reviewed was Far Cry New Dawn. Far Cry New Dawn, for a little bit of perspective, got a net golden number, I don't know why I'm calling that net, has a golden number of negative 2.79, because Far Cry New Dawn had issues. I've also played Far Cry 3, and Far Cry 5, and Far Cry 4. Now, of those, I do think this is probably my favorite overall. If I could get a drum roll, please. Final golden number for Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is 81.38, which puts that as substantially above average, what it would be generally called a very good game, approaching great status. And I stand behind that. That was fun, and it was to the point, and it had no real fat or trim on it. Honestly, if not for that stupid bug, and the fact that the game is kind of eye-cancery, that would have scored even higher than it already did. I agree. If this was dragged out without adding variety or quality, it would have felt padded, but it isn't. So here we are. So let's see who guessed this. 81.38. 81.38. So we've got Blade Chaval at 83. We've got Direct D at 82. And it looks like... Yep, it looks like that's going to go to Direct D. We guessed 82.33. So we'll put that towards the Dragon Age block. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoyed. Obviously, there will be no stream tomorrow. Monday, we'll be playing a game you've probably never heard of called Paradise Killer. So... Oh, hang on. I'm being told to skip the credits. I have skipped the credits. Sure. Okay. I did it. See you Monday.